finals.
And they lost.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's a tilt pick because it's like they're getting 3-0'd and they picked in the last game. But
it seemed like that was gonna break out at DAC, didn't it, Lone Druid? As in, like, you know, it become more popular again, but actually it's had a few nerfs.
The nerf to Rabid was...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a...
it's part of the 101 that we have had picked and banned, 97 picked in total, and 11 not chosen whatsoever, not targeted at all. When's Mirana coming back?
That hero feels so bad.
Doesn't it?
Her eggs is below mediocre.
Also, Shadow Demon's terrible right now, too.
Yeah, SD was on the verge of coming back in. Previous patch, they were talking about it just before DAC. We said maybe it was one of those sleepy heroes that might just start getting picked up, and several players have been talking about it in glowing terms as in, yeah, this is actually viable in certain situations. It disappeared completely.
Talents are pretty terrible.
Here's some of the worst
talents. The worst talents, yeah. 6 strength, 10 or something. It's like, and then you get like 6%.
75 cast range or something?
Yeah,
it's like one of the lowest cast ranges. I'm not sure.
The cast range, like 5% spell amp on a hero that doesn't really benefit from a lot.
I think he legitimately has a 10 move speed talent.
I think you're right.
I think it's like 6 strength or 10
movement speed. Yeah,
and you look at it, you're like, what am I doing with my life?
Which I mean,
10
which one's
speed.
even better, right? Like, 10 is so little.
I mean, I take the move speed, but I wouldn't feel happy about it.
Okay, we are, as you can see, in the draft for game number 2. We have Monkey King ban again. Faceless decide to get rid of it, and the tree as well. And
they're not banning CM?
Yeah, is that because they think they might get it because OG don't necessarily prioritize it?
I mean, Faceless have first pick, though.
Faceless have first pick.
They do.
I feel like
so it's
these
first
bans
pick
on Ice, like...
They do it again?
They do get rid of Timber again?
They're just, he has these 3 heroes he's incredibly strong as, Abaddon, Timbersaw, and Nyx. And he's going to get one of them. So unless OG pick up the Nyx here, maybe they're predicting the CM, and Nyx is one of the better heroes against CM. They could take it themselves. That might be a decent idea. I haven't seen them play Nyx as much, but to be honest, it should be a hero that's good for them. I could see them running some Nyx Evoker this game.
Oh, Faceless looks really happy. Right away, they're like, nice, we got Crystal Maiden again.
I mean, wait. As far as support heroes go, Crystal Maiden is one of the best ones against Naga Siren, simply because you have the aura which allows you to play extremely fast early game, and then in the mid game, you have a lot of mana to spam out these illusions.
Yeah.
Well, I think this tells, if you didn't already know what OG was favouring, I think we definitely know now. That was an instant two-hero lock-in.
Don't forget that they still have the team fight, though, with the Disruptor. It's one of the better setups, maybe not as good as Black Hole, but it is a little bit faster paced than the Enigma, which I think you need versus the Crystal Maiden. You need a hero that doesn't need Midas plus one more item before things start happening.
I think it's also like the Disruptor kind of, they're like maybe afraid of the Slark from the last game. I think that might be a little bit of an indicator. They're like, all right, we're just picking the Disruptor in the first 2 right now. If you want to pick Slark into it, you can, but it can be kind of painful versus a Disruptor.
Naga's a great hero with Disruptor, not just because of the team fight that Ben mentioned, but Naga's a hero that gives a lot of vision that you can use for glimpse. And Disruptor is generally a hero that's seen as a bit weak in lane, but Naga's a hero that can sort of absorb pressure. Naga doesn't care that much if the enemy's aggro on them or putting a lot of pressure, because you can always defend that tower, you always have these illusions to sort of tank for you and get last hits.
The thing is, though, I think that Faceless, if you're preparing versus OG, you prepare against Alk, Naga, and Arc Warden, I'd probably say.
Terrorblade? Terrorblade?
Terrorblade too, but I think they're like all somewhat similar with some variations. But the thing is, if you first pick Naga, you can be like, okay, we have a strategy to prepare for this. Let's go ahead and go with it. It's not like something that they have to think about too much in the draft or something that's terribly unexpected.
So maybe like OG could have picked like their illusion hero in the second phase because none of them are banned.
Exactly,
and
just like
you
last
just
game.
have that much more impact. Something about Nyx versus Naga is that Nyx used to be pretty bad versus Naga. Just because of how Naga lanes out, you were able to protect these Nyx ganks. But there's the change to Radiance, which was supposed to nerf it for Naga, made Nyx a lot better against her. Because what happens now is you can carapace the illusions, and then when you go next to the real one, it will also the Radiance will change you and you carapace that one as well.
Yeah.
So not only do you stun Naga for 5 seconds, but you can instantly tell which one's real. It's a pretty nice perk of that matchup.
So who do we think will play the Naga this time around? They've had 3 different players on it.
On Naga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Who's played it?
No.
Wrong
of course
team.
they haven't. Wrong team.
No problem.
I see the Naga and think Liquid.
That is very true.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a no-tail Naga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People always discuss the best Naga. Personally, I think GH has the best mechanics on the hero, but no-tail is by far the best at bringing that hero into team fights and using the hero to set up his team for good fights.
It's like the same as the Alk, right?
Yeah.
They play it really similar.
To be honest, in my opinion, that's the most important part of Naga. Like, if you were to ask me who's the best Naga overall, I'd probably say no-tail right now.
I like the Enigma band by Faceless. It's just like a staple OG.
I don't think you want to play versus that.
Yeah, no way. The sleep combo.
One weakness of Naga that sometimes comes out is that you don't have enough to deal with a BKB unit. You have this Naga, your split pushing Radiance, but Naga lineups often lack physical damage with her. And Enigma, she's not physical damage, but he is a lot of damage through BKB with the Midnight Pulse and Black Hole.
So they ban out the AM and the Alk, so they're trying to get themselves like a big advantage toward late game. Jabs likes to play the Alchemist. Black loves his anti-mage. Those two are pretty hard. Well, like they pair well against the Naga Siren.
I think the Legion Commander is a good band. It's a hero that OG run a lot with Naga. They use it to collapse on his lane. They open up the map. I feel like a broken record saying this, but to me that is in essence what OG is.
Yeah.
They'll open up the map, they'll get picks, push out lanes of Naga, kill you, make you miserable.
All the things you like doing.
I like it when I do them.
Yeah.
It's not cool when they do it.
Right.
So OG, what?
Puck, maybe? I don't know. I think they need an offlaner that can actually start off the fight for them. They don't have the Enigma anymore. They don't like Clock because they want to take it a little bit later. Batrider not particularly good versus Nick, so I think his options are very limited, especially with the LC being banned out.
I think last time they ran Naga, they had the Puck, and the other game they had the Axe. So I think they're thinking in similar lines. They want something a bit more low cooldown that they can play a bit faster paced game with.
They played with Centaur in the past too, but that hero's kind of like immensely fallen off.
Yeah, I think it's not. I think Centaur's a bit weaker versus Nyx as well.
Yeah.
I think Axe could be interesting because he's a hero that you can't match up the Nyx as well 1v1 versus him. And when you get that offline matchup, it makes it a bit harder to play. That being said, I feel like Faceless has played this Nyx as support before. I think with CM.
I do think, yeah.
I mean,
I do think they have.
It's confusing for me because they also had the game where they had like the Nyx, the Abaddon support with the CM and the Nyx offlane. But yeah, we saw a debate by OG in the last game. Maybe we'll see one by Faceless this game.
The Pudge.
Ooh. Can you still hook Naga sleep units?
Nope.
Can't hook Invulnerable anymore.
That's sad.
Yeah.
But balanced.
Probably.
Or you could Berserker's Call Yule's units.
Oh, that was
so ridiculous.
Broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, we abused that at DAC 2015. Great tournament. Great bug. Feels good, man.
I think this is something that they're using to try to like alleviate more pressure off the Naga too. Nyx, you can get run down pretty easily if you're just getting routed and ran out in the laning phase. I think that's what they're trying to secure. Faceless kind of I kind of felt like they were going to do this just because of how much impact these two heroes had in the laning phase. We keep talking about it. Faceless loves to dominate the lanes. Who better than that than CM Ogre?
I think it's always nice to pick Ogre when you see the enemy's two supports. I think in this game in particular, even if Pudge is rotting him and Disruptor's hitting him, he might kill the Pudge before he dies. Like, just the Ogre. So, when that happens, you can really tell that no matter wherever Ogre decides to go, whichever lane he decides needs a good head start, he'll be able to go there and have a high impact. Also, I feel like the Ogre did a really good job at mid last game, you know? OG put Batrider and OD there. We saw some cool synergy with the Sticky and the OD Aura, but it didn't matter. The Morphling still ended up killing the Batrider, and Morphling had a great game that game.
I'd like to OG grab like a DK or something, like one of those type of heroes that bring stuff together. Oh, they do go for the Centaur.
Yeah,
interesting.
That's a good call.
Gives them some more team fight, gives them lockdown. They just like this kind of combo as well.
Something else that can be said for Centaur is if CM is alone in lane versus him with a carry, if you skill up the Return Aura, you can be pretty decent at laning versus her. You have the PMS, CM has like 41 base damage or something. You just stand there and let CM hurt herself.
I really like that you say that, because I think that's probably what they're trying to go for, that type of approach. They're like, okay, how do we this last game we had an Enigma who can't really just stay in the lane the whole time. He stayed there for a bit, but at one point he has to go to the jungle just because of the fear factor. This time now, he's going to try to keep the supports down there because that, I feel like, was the big dominant factor for Faceless the last time, just the liberty of the two supports being able to move out of that safe lane.
And I think it's a twofold factor because when you keep a CM in lane, she's not using her frostbites on neutral creeps. I think she got to do a lot of that versus Enigma. And we saw the high-level CM, the high-level Aura contributing a lot to her team. And if you have the Ogre there, obviously your other lanes feel way better because that hero is very strong at early levels.
I also think he's a good pipe carrier. Like, their lineup does not have that much physical damage.
That's a good point.
Very good point.
Prior to that, too.
So the Morphling versus the Naga, I feel like that's kind of the same thing as last time, matching up a Morph versus like Alchemist, Morph versus Naga, kind of same concept.
Again, though, they do have something to kill the Replica.
They do, yeah.
Disruptor glimpse, so that is nice for them. It's a pretty good Morphling game, though, to be honest. Disruptor is good versus him, but they have the CM Aura. Look, CM Aura makes Morphling a different hero. It really does. Like, if you can get this quick E-Blade BKB in this game, I feel like he has the potential to carry this game very hard. It's a Tinker banned out from OG. I guess the hero that they have in mind for mid lane cannot, like, that hero can't win his lane against a Tinker. And they need that hero to win the lane in this game, I feel, because Center's not a particularly fast hero, Naga won't really make any rotations, and the supports, while they can rotate, they do lack some things that the mid hero being strong will help them with.
I don't know why the DK keeps coming to mind for me for OG, but I'm just trying to think of something that they like to play that isn't going to get so hindered by the Nyx if he does go for the rotations, and they want to have something that gives space and is a building hitter. They have no real objective taker just yet.
That's a good point. DK could be very good for them. I think with DK you generally want to see the enemies mid, which OG has the potential to do. So if Faceless picks something and they think they can put the DK mid, I think it's a good pick. Hood DK does not die this game.
Ooh, they see the OD though. That might put some fear. They might go back for something like a TA or something. They really do like picking that because it's kind of like the same concept, the hero that can kind of like get involved more early and have a good laning phase at least, especially.
Remember last time Faceless played CM Ogre versus TA though?
That is true.
Yeah, that's rough.
No, they do.
Alright, they do it anyways.
Now they have an objective taker, they have a Roche taker. I feel like it's just like the one thing that they had left for them that can make the space for the Naga Siren.
But most importantly, they'll have a lot of space, a lot of vision on the map. They need something that'll single target burst.
Physical burst.
Physical burst, exactly. That will use the vision and they can use that to their advantage.
Okay, let's get some predictions, shall we? As we go around the table, we'll start with Melini.
I'm going with Faceless for real this time.
Okay, why?
I just think they're riding a high right now. Yep.
Okay. I'm also going to go with...
He's not giving you any help there at all.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I'm also going to go with Faceless. I think that I just really like the way that they played with the CM Ogre. I think that it's going to work well. I think they can make the same type of rotations as the last game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't think I'd be betting on the Faceless 2-0, but I am. I'm going with Faceless. I think OG's lineup is a bit slow, and it's hard to play those types of lineup versus a team with CM Aura. I think Faceless demonstrated that they're very effective at abusing that CM Aura. I expect them to play a high-paced game again this game.
Okay. Thank you very much. All of our gentlemen on the panel have gone with Faceless. Perhaps a little bit surprising after we saw OG come into this as one of the favourites to lift the entire thing. They are on the back foot right now. They need to win this one to stay in the Kiev Major, or can Faceless make their first semi-final? Let's find out as we head back to our commentary team for game number 2.
As many people have pointed out, it seems like OG have gotten themselves stuck in a pattern. They constantly have the Southeast Asian teams as some sort of sticking point. They've been eliminated from a major Valve tournament twice now by a Southeast Asian team, and this could be the third one, as they are just one game away from being eliminated once again and going out in the bottom, like not being able to make it to the top 4 would be a huge blow to OG.
Yeah, definitely one of the expected teams to do really well. After the group stage, they had some issues, but this game looks better at least than Game 1. Game 1 was a lot of what OG wanted, but it didn't fit together well. This game, at least, I feel like they have lots of team fight control, not necessarily active control, more like we decide where to fight. If it's going bad, we're going to song. If you're going to run away, we're going to glimpse you back. And they're also going to have Stampede to chase or escape. So I feel like OG has a lot better tools to protect the one guy that needs a lot of farm this game, and that's mostly Naga Siren. Obviously some T in there as well, but I feel like they'll better be able to do what they want to do at all stages of the game with this lineup.
And I kind of want to get a jump ahead on this storyline because I know people are going to go to it. Once again, OG are going for another Radiance hero, right? Another Radiance Illusion hero. They tried it in the first game, didn't work out with the Alchemist. That was the storyline from DAC as well, and they failed to actually close out that game against IG. They couldn't close out that final series. So do you think they're going to have a similar problem here? Because it did seem like Faceless had a very strict game plan to be able to deal with that Alchemist. Do you think we're going to see a similar game plan here in this game too?
Yeah, I mean, Faceless seems to have almost exactly the same draft, really. They've got Morphling, they've got Crystal Maiden, they've got Ogre. They have the same accelerants, they have the same map pressure, they have the same laning advantage, but the difference is that I just feel like OG's lineup can do so much more this game. They can pressure aggressively. I think Pudge could really pay off here. It looks like they're actually going for an aggro try, and this has been predicted. The Nyx Assassin is going to be in the safe lane here. Faceless is know what to expect, and that'll be up against Centaur versus Morphling right now, and possibly, it'll be a 2v1 eventually, but it will start 1v1. So I think this is overall pretty good for both teams. Both Centaur and Nyx are definitely good if they get some levels, but I would say this maybe favors Nyx more, because the faster he gets to 6 here, that's going to change a lot of this early game. He's going to try to kill all the illusions here, but that actually could cause a lot of trouble for Ice. He's going to lose a lot of HP right now.
And mid lane, we do have a slight advantage to Faceless as well, with XY currently standing as the bodyguard to Jabs' OD. Obviously, that Ignite, very good versus the Refraction. Bottom lane, Ice does burn down a little bit low on the Nyx Assassin. Looks like he should be fine, though. The Pudge, a great roaming forward position, but can't really he can't really offset the power of what the Ogre does. Top lane, looks like they are going to have a go here on the Black, and he's actually going to die. They're just going to slow him down enough. He can't morph strength for too much longer, so first blood for S4. Now the Centaur, especially if you get Shrink Boots and that sort of thing, he can actually play this lane very double-edge heavy against the Morphling and force him out of that max agility that the Morphling's usually so comfortable in 1v1s.
Yeah, such a great time to get a gank off. Morphling pre-waveform is really the best window for OG, considering that they don't have a lot of disable. They've got lots of damage, and Glimpse will be very effective sometimes, but a big first blood to start off the game, and Morphling's practically off lane right now. Just the pressure of Jarex being there is going to make him just play a lot safer. He didn't even go for the last hits on that last wave. He didn't even guarantee the level 2 because he's just so afraid that Jarex would show up again.
He finally does pick up the level 2, and it should feel a little bit more safe. But even then, right, if Pudge loops around, he slows you down, you're forced to waveform, you could still be got by the hook, right? It's a simple straight line. So this is definitely going to be a lane that at some point in time, our Morphling is going to need the assistance of Nuts. Nuts has picked up his level 2, cleared out that off-lane jungle, and will now join his carry.
And in the meantime, No-Tail just still playing the off-lane Naga Siren. It's actually semi-viable in a 1v1 situation as long as the supports don't rotate over. But the hero they want to pressure is Pudge, actually.
Oh, they've almost got him, but they just kept the vision. Nice play from Jarex. He's going to be able to catch Nuts here, but can he actually chase out this kill? A lot of tower shots onto Nuts there. He will manage to... Oh, no. He got hit by that Thunderstrike and is going to end up going down now. XY is going to be cornered up by S4. He did have the double damage. It's now faded and won't be able to get the damage to get a counter kill. Jarex does manage to hit the hook, cleans up that kill. 0-3 now. OG off to a much better start, it seems, for this laning phase in Game 2.
Man, that hook changed the whole early game because it got so many tower hits off on the Crystal Maiden. She's got boots, but tower hits and the follow-up from the rest of the allies making a big difference. Perfect decision-making as well for S4 to go for the follow-up kill, not necessarily the guaranteed one. And OG off to an amazing start in the early game. Black does get all the range creeps to his tower, though. That would have been a huge advantage for OG. Either way, I don't think they can complain too much considering how things are going.
Absolutely not. Naga Siren kind of free farming. The only one who's really been pressured has been Anna's Templar Assassin, and you still have some comeback mechanisms to be able to fall back on, like being able to play off of Ancients and that sort of thing.
He's not even that far behind anyways. Maybe he will be soon, though.
Yeah, we are going to need the help. The assistance of Jarex's Pudge. He's trying to line up for a hook right now, but they're kind of body blocking Anna out. Jarex doesn't have a clear shot, so instead he's going to be forced to hit XY, but bringing him into the tower doesn't do much to the tanky Ogre. Nice rebuttal there from Faceless, managing to pick up that mid kill on Ana. Even if they are not faring the best in their side lanes, at least they're still winning mid.
Yeah, this is a really nice gank, and once again, Nuts is there at the perfect time to land his combo. Did a great job as well walking to the right, trying to avoid getting hooked under tower. He feared the hook after that last one. We'll see if it affects his play, but OG's going to be happy.
Just a little bit shy there from Jarex, mid lane. Jabs. Seems a little bit damage there from Thunderstrike, but again, XY always in the neighborhood and is a force to be reckoned with. Nobody really wants to challenge Faceless while he's around.
Oh, this is that Disruptor set. That's really cool. Forgot about this one.
Oh, he's got the samurai hat.
That's something like super rare or something. That's awesome. I just want to talk about cosmetics. I'll cast you down. No?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a cosmetics guy, unfortunately, Kevin. I only care about my looks outside of the game.
Oh, okay. All right. Makes sense. All right. Naga Siren picking up 5 in the off lane. It's almost time for him to leave, I think. It's that like 5 to 7 minute period where you're like, oh, we start an aggro try, but at some point you have to fear the ganks and the reasons that off lane usually is a bit dangerous. But fast arcane boots for him, that basically means his farm acceleration will be there. But Fly's going to rotate to the bot lane. S4 TPing in, going to start the first rotation. And they're actually holding a skill point on No-Tail. Maybe they're hoping to do like an ensnare into a stun or hook into Centaur Stomp. Centaur's still 5 mana short, and the creeps definitely reveal S4 here. So, yeah, they're just going to play normal with this one. Naga rotating this safely? No.
This early Vanguard build from the Centaur is kind of interesting. He's got the queued up for the Vitality Booster.
I actually like it a lot. There are a lot of right clicks needed from Faceless, both Ogre and CM. They have great nuke damage, but their right clicks are definitely a large part about that as well. Maybe not CM's, but you know, if you get a Vanguard block early in the game, that's like 100% of a right click. 70 damage is huge in the early game. So if he's got these levels and it helps him basically go wherever he wants to, I think it'll make a big impact.
Do you think it's more valuable than the Hood of Defiance? Which would be the normal, other tanky item for a Centaur to pick up?
I think this game Vanguard is definitely the safer move. Obviously, there's a lot of magic damage. Oh, No-Tail might be in trouble here.
No-Tail slowed down. They are going to be able to get the waveform in front of him. Kind of body blocking him with the Thunder. Oh, nice hook there from the side. And Jarex is going to be able to save the life of No-Tail here. Black is dropping kind of low, but it looks like they're still going to pursue out Jarex, try and at least get something off this one. It looks like, it's a deny too. Oh, Jarex is doing so much. I was asking you, I was like, Pudge, do you really think that's worth it? But it does seem like the combination of having a 4 position that roams and being able to operate as a saving hero is working out very nicely for OG.
Yeah, everybody has been so heavily favoring things like Monkey King, but Pudge is a very abusable. Meat Hook is one of the most OP abilities, considering it's like 2 ranges of Force Staff. If it puts your opponent out of position, gets them under tower, that's a lot of damage you'd never get out of a Monkey King.
Looking at that net worth chart, it's looking pretty for the OG members. They've got their top 3 cores in the top 4. The OD is in there, and Nyx Assassin's not too far behind that top 4 area, but it's that Morphling that's really suffering.
Yeah, he's sitting about the same farm as the Pudge. That's not a good sign. He's still been playing a sort of offlane role, which may mean that it's very heavily on jabs here to have a good early game.
Kinetic field, but the waveform's there to get the extra damage. Maybe XY can chase him down. Just needs more right clicks, and they got it from Nuts.
And did his best there to stay alive. They do get the jab skill in the mid lane.
That is huge. Anna needed something like that to be able to come back into this game. Nice rotation.
So to finish the Vanguard thought, Hood is great this game. There's a lot of magic damage, but a Vanguard at this point in the game is an extra 250 HP, and in some ways you could say the health is equivalent to magic resistance. So, and plus it also blocks right-click physical attack. So I feel like they're kind of comparable. Obviously, Hood's going to scale better as Centaur's HP increases massively, but because he got this so early and he's got so many levels, I think you can just buy this. It covers you against all situations, and you can just bully your lane.
If he wants to, he can always get the Hood of Defiance a little bit later. I'm presuming his second choice is still going to be the Blink Dagger. I doubt he'll deviate that much.
Yeah, probably. With 2 more tangos in the Vanguard, he's going to hit full HP pretty soon. And level 7 on him is a lot of damage threat, actually. If anybody ends up getting caught here. Ice TPing to the Shrine, going for an invis gank to the top lane now.
But, oh, never mind. That's actually Faces' vision. They do have a sentry here, so Fly's going to be able to spot him out, but he does get his combination out, so maybe the Morphling can finish up. Again, the waveform and the right click does manage to secure a kill on a support. So, Ice. The beginning of his notorious off-lane rotations have just begun.
The downside of not having a stun. That's like that would never happen otherwise.
Yeah, poor Disruptor.
OG now pressuring the offlane tower, just Jarex and Pudge here, but that's a really potent duo. They could threaten a lot of heroes right now. Another thing really going for OG this game is the OD advantage. Astral's obviously a great skill, but there's a lot of situations where it's just going to give you an easy hook or a defensive one as well. But they're going to TP to go in on this. They want to pressure the Centaur.
Looks like Faceless may have read the timing on this one. S4 does have his ultimate, but Ice is able to hit the stun there. Nice hook back there from Jarex. Getting more control now, popping the ultimate. They're actually going to run over Nuts, look for more. S4 gets stunned up by the Ogre, but they will at least claim the life of the Crystal Maiden. Ice slowed down. Now Anna's here as well. Another great hook from Jarex. He is on point here. XY pulled back by Fly. A third kill picked up by OG. This is not going to be the one-sided stomp we saw in game number 1.
Oh, it might be just the other way around, perhaps. I mean, great ability to pressure there. So S4 still hasn't picked up a point in return, and it's really paying off, actually. The extra hoof stomp stun duration, the extra damage from that is making the difference. And even Glimpse looks so powerful with a Centaur on your team like that if he's got enough time to get the cooldown off again. And he doesn't even need a Blink Dagger. That's what it feels like right now. But he's still making the initiations happen just by being tanky.
It looks like they're going to be able to create a lot of space for both Anna right now. He could use a little bit of space to farm up his first item, which he's currently got queued up, his Blink Dagger, but especially No Tail. No Tail could use this extra time to complete that Radiance. So I'm presuming we're going to see OG continue to be quite aggressive with at least this trio, and you can see them currently trying to set up for a pickoff on Ice, but he snapped. They do manage to get the spike, Carapace, turnaround stun. Jarex is going to get popped by that one. Nice play from Ice, but it looks like he may still be giving up his life. Maybe not. TP in from Jabs is going to be able to catch the Centaur. Good send back there from Fly. Does save the life of Ice as he claims a kill.
Yeah, but S4 as well. The glimpse is absolutely important.
Oh, Jarex actually knows where Jabs win, I think.
Oh, he sees him, yeah.
So he sees him now. Hooks. No, that's way off the mark. It's okay, Jarex. You landed a lot of them.
Slightly wrong estimation. He also popped the Tome before he did move to the bot lane, and he was just a fraction away from 6. A bit unfortunate he didn't have slightly more experience. Maybe would have killed Ice then. The OD even rotated all the way to the top lane there just to try to set up the kill on No Tail with an Invis Rune, but after TPing bottom and getting Glimpse back, that actually wasted a lot of that guy's time. He does still have Midas, though, so he'll be all right.
I see Black, and he's farming up, but he's still kind of suffering in the net worth, and with the pressure that's heading down bottom lane, Ice is actually having some issues as well. A little bit surprised he's not moving around a bit more with this Nyx Assassin, but I guess with the combination of pressure and as well as him wanting to be able to build into that Hand of Midas, his ganks are actually going to come to his lane, it looks like. Jabs looking for the imprisonment to set up a stun. S4 hides himself in the trees very nicely, and Jabs does not let go for the melee contest.
Yeah, they doubt they have enough damage. They get a hook on the mid lane. Nuts goes down.
That was a very dead Crystal Maiden. Anna actually picks up the double damage for his bottle. That's a big pickup. Maybe threatened an early tower. Imprisonment pushes out the wave.
I just feel like Faceless doesn't have enough damage output is the main issue. I mean, they could have maybe gone for the Centaur in the trees, but when he just gets defensive like that, he's playing with all of his tools. He's got a 10-stick. He's got a Quelling Blade, so he can juke into trees and get stomps off. It's just very difficult for Faceless to guarantee those kills. And Black would probably love to go to the safe lane and get farm, but the time that he was going to rotate to the safe lane, it was already in a dangerous position. And the Pudge just puts so much pressure on the safe lane. You don't have to dive the tower. You can just get the right hook off and guarantee a carry kill.
We're seeing, as a reaction, Black is going to be picking up a Lincoln Sphere.
It's a good choice.
To be kind of be able to deal with the glimpse, right?
I'm thinking of Pudge Dismember as well. Yeah. If he does get hooked, at least he guarantees he gets a waveform off.
But it does mean no BKB is going to be picked up by the Morphling anytime soon, so he's still going to be very susceptible to the Kinetic Field Static Storm.
Yeah.
And that'll be the other really big team fight ability that OG can play off of, especially since they have the Naga Siren Sleep to set it all up.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. We haven't seen that in a while, but it's super terrifying. And it'll just, for 1 second, if you get a little too close to one another, they're going to get that AoE team fight off, and that's something they were using very well at DAC. It's just Naga into Black Hole. Static Storm is, in some ways, very similar.
They are really maintaining this kind of split from Faceless once again. Seems like they have this idea that, mid, they're going to be able to reveal that Blink Dagger from Ana. He's still at that double damage, too, so Japs gets blown up pretty quickly. They do manage to get Jerix at least, but it's going to be a twofer.
I really like what S4 did there. He instantly gets his Blink Dagger, TPs the mid lane. He didn't go in on the Ogre, the guy that was going to die. He waited to see if there was a little backup, and he almost caught Black. If Black moved an inch closer, stayed half a second longer, that could have been a follow-up kill with a Static Storm. That would have been a huge play there for OG. Either way, still getting 2 kills is really good for them right now.
Yeah, rapid presence of OG into the mid lane not only catches kill, but also takes that mid tower. And Ana running around like some hero out of an anime. It's heading towards bottom lane. Ice is going to be in some trouble here. Ana.
Oh, he gets
there
a hook.
It is. The hook. The spike carapace buys him a little bit of time. Doesn't have the stun quite yet. And does have the turnaround potentially. Nuts. He needs to be able to stop Ana, but he doesn't have the mana to do so. Nuts now hides himself in the trees, hoping to be able to get out. Kinetic Field. Not quite catching Ana. That means Nuts is going to be found inside the trees. And should be a simple pop. Ana blinking forward, immediately wanted to take that safe lane tower.
Yeah, Jerix just wanted to help him get to the tower a little faster there. Worked out pretty nice.
And this has gone from Ana suffering in his timing to getting that early Blink Dagger to now having a blink and closing in on Deso pretty fast.
He's got 8 kills. Is that true? Am I clicked on the right here? That's 8 kills. Is that really happening?
Well
yeah,
done,
that's
Ana.
Confirmed. 8 Templar Assassin kills at the 15-minute mark.
That's kind of insane. And that's a lot of it due to OG's setting him up. Like, he had a bad laning phase. There's not so much that TA can do by himself. OG's rotation's been very on point. Jerix in particular has just created a monster of an early game for OG.
And I think maybe this is part of what OG was doing here in their draft. Let Faceless get the same kind of supports. Ones that are very good at lane pressure, good at ganking, but then all they have to do is pick really tanky cores, hard to kill cores. And all of a sudden the Ogre and the CM feel really mediocre. Like,
look at him. He's actually going Solar Crest up next on the Centaur.
Okay. He does need armor. Tranquils doesn't give you armor anymore, and he's pretty good at damage blocking, so the evasion part up, but same principle. Bloodlust makes you right-click faster, grab armor. It's kind of the same thing. Counters the attack speed a bit.
And we could see a very fast Roshan from that as well. The TA on that team already, it's pretty easy for them to do it. Get a medallion.
Ice looking for a possible kill on S4, but he gets out no problem. And yeah, they're just controlling the map so well right now. They'd love to take the last tier 1 tower top, and they've got a ward for it. They're just looking for Faceless heroes. They get a kill, they'll try to take a tower right after.
All this aggressive vision in the left-hand side of the map here from OG doesn't quite net them a kill as Faceless